Headlines and business coming up, but first, a woman living in a tiny Bay of Plenty township fled her home early this morning after witnessing geysers in the lake erupt in front of her eyes. Lani Keriopa says the eruption sent water 30 metres into the air and have locals freaked out. Alex Ashton's report begins with Ms Keriopa sharing her experience on Facebook.
Morena. So for those of you wanting to know what happened this morning, well, that's my whare down on the lakefront there.
Lani Keriopa lives in Ohenemutu in Rotorua. That video you just heard, she posted on Facebook this morning after waking at 4:30 to an unusual sound.
4 to 6 loud thuds, and then what I now know was spray afterwards. It kind of sounded a bit like fireworks. And the first thing I thought was, I've got 2 teenage boys, and I thought, what the heck are those kids up to? What on earth could that sound be? Then I heard another thud and the spray, and so I was lying there thinking, is it fireworks? Is it roadworks? What on earth could that be?
The bangs didn't stop.
So I poked my head out the window, and it was really dark in the village, really quiet, and then all of a sudden, boom. And because it was so dark, I couldn't see what came up, but all I saw in the air was this huge volume of water. So I knew immediately that it was a geyser, like a wave of water had been thrown into the air.
She woke her brother, who lives next door, and they all drove up a nearby hill. So, loud bangs, torrents of water into the air. What was happening in Ohenemutu?
Basically, there was a small-scale hydrothermal eruption in Lake Rotorua.
Brad Scott's a GNS scientist. Indeed, what woke Lani and the other villagers was a small-scale hydrothermal eruption, basically.
Just a little bit more steam than normal coming to the surface and being restricted in its flow to the surface, creating an overpressure situation.
Brad Scott says the eruptions are unusual but not unheard of. They used to be common, he says, but the area hasn't had one for 15 years or so. Mr Scott says there is some danger to people around the lake, but should people be worried?
Not really, no. I don't see that there's a large public risk.
It's been a shaky few weeks around New Zealand, and one might assume the eruptions are connected to the Kaikoura quake. Brad Scott says unlikely.
It may be a consequence of the Kaikoura earthquake sequence or some of the aftershock sequences up East Cape Way. It's not something that I would rush out and sort of put a pin in the map and say, yes, there's a relationship. I think it's a pretty low probability it is.
While officials say people needn't worry too much about the eruptions, Lani Keriopa says people are scared.
There's an old story that a village used to be in that area, and the village was destroyed, the old story was, by a tidal wave. But now, because it's in that area, I'm really starting to think, actually, was it an eruption like that? There's still posts from the village that are under the water there, rotting posts. So there was a village there, and it was destroyed, and that just happens to be where this thing is blowing.
Locals hoping the eruptions don't become a regular occurrence. For Checkpoint, Alex Ashton.